So this is another one of those trainers that were released back in the 90s but never had the funds to sort of pay for them. And it's basically the Reebok Pump Instafury. And out of all the pump trainers, I think this is, for me, the nicer ones. I like my runners anyway. And this was, I think, as far as I remember, it's created by Stephen Smith, who's now in charge of Yeezy. And what I liked about this particular trainer was it was laceless, and it was quite sort of futuristic back then because you didn't have too many trainers that were sort of laceless. And with this one, it also had like this caging or mesh overlay that allowed you to sort of pump up the trainer to give you a better sort of more snug fit. And it's a gimmick at the end of the day, the pump, but it at that time as a kid I was just like completely sort of blown away by it. And I did have a sort of, I can't remember the pair that I had, but I did have a pair of Reebok pumps and in the high top version, and that was a really cool sneaker. And granted that the pump sort of slowly dies after a while, but it's still quite nice as a kid to kind of play around with that kind of stuff. And with this trainer in general, I just like the look of it. It's got the chunky outsole and midsole, and it sits slightly higher up, so it almost gives you sort of that sort of hiking trainer vibe. But I kind of like the fact that they've got kind of holes here as well, which you can sort of wear during the summertime and makes it easier to sort of rock. And similar to, I suppose, a Nike Huarache in that aspect. But it's just a really cool sneaker, and it's just got all these kind of crazy sort of panels laid on top of it. And like I said, because it's laceless, I love it even more. I'm a big fan of trainers with sort of laceless technology. And even the outsole itself, very sort of 90s, and has sort of this carbon fibre shank plate running across it. And I think it also has hexalite, if I'm not mistaken, so I can see a little hexagon through the clear outsole there. So overall it's a cool sneaker, and yeah, I'm glad to have it really. Here are details for the Reebok Instapump Fury 95. This particular pair comes in a royal black and neon cherry colourway, and it also has the Instapump technology that Reebok use, which is it's there to sort of pump up the upper, so it gives you a bit more of a tighter fit instead of laces. And it also has hexalite cushioning, so similar to like an Air Max unit really, so it's more for sort of impact protection. And it also has a carbon fibre shank plate, as it was meant to be a runner. It's got a polyurethane midsole, and it's made up of all sorts of synthetic uppers, and the price was £160. So comfort and sizing, these have a medium to firm sole, so they feel very much a mid-90s product, so I suppose in that way it's similar to an Air Max 95. And so you're not going to have too much sort of softness or cushioning. Most of that just comes from the insole itself, but it does feel very sort of stable on foot though, and like I said, because it's on the firmer side, it's probably good for running. And also, because you're being a runner, it has good neutral support around the arch as well. And because of the fabric upper, it has no wear in time, so you should be sort of good to go. And especially because of the pump, you can kind of tailor it to how you want it to fit. And you can go true to size on these. I don't think there's an issue with that. I went half a size up, but I was kind of a bit unsure on how these would fit. And they also have good traction as well, so they're quite sort of chunky, similar to a trail shoe and an Air Max Plus. So with the look and style, it's a 1995 retro runner, and it's pretty much an iconic sneaker at the end of the day, because it's got no laces, it's a slip-on, it's a lot of breathability, and they look similar to an Air Huarache in my opinion as well. And I also like the just the overall colourway as well, with the blue hits and the cherry hits and also the black hits. And it reflects very much a sort of mid-90s colour palette in my opinion. It's very much of that ilk. And you can wear these spring summertime really. I wouldn't really wear them in the autumn winter. It's like I said, because it's got sort of breathability panels, it's not going to keep you dry, and also the wet's going to just get in very quickly. And casual wear is best with these, so shorts or like cargos, that kind of thing, joggers is fine. I don't think, well, this particular colourway you can't really dress it up, but there's other colourways out there that you may be able to. Because it's laceless, there's no laces on this one. So with the final thoughts, I like the Instapump that's in there, the technology is more of a gimmick, but it's also very cool, and it does work to a certain extent. And I think sometimes it's a bit hit and miss, and it can, depending on how much you use it, it can sort of stop working, and the valve to kind of release the air as well, that can sometimes be, again, hit and miss as well. But it's still just a cool thing, especially if you're a kid of the early 90s. And because it's laceless as well, I like that. It's just easy to sort of slip on and take off. And it does look very sort of futuristic still, even though it came out in 1995 originally. It's still a futuristic sneaker, and it always appealed to me even back then. And the cons are the cost. At the moment, the price was sort of £160. I obviously got them on sale, but I won't be paying £160 for them, even though I wanted them as a kid. They're just a bit too much, like, in terms of the price. And also the thicker midsole, so it kind of reminds me of an Air Max Plus 95 or an Air Max Plus TN. And you may or may not be a fan of that, because it kind of makes it slightly a bit of a heavier shoe than what you expect from a sort of modern day runner. And with the ratings, I give the look and style a 5. I'm a big fan of this, and it's one of those sort of Stephen Smith silhouettes that can be sort of divisive, and you may not see the same eye to eye as me. And the comfort, I give it a 4, so it's similar to an Air Max Plus really. I don't think there's like too much wrong with it, and it's not really soft in any way, but there's a lot of support there. And the quality, I give it a 4. It's using synthetic materials at the end of the day, so the quality is going to be not the amazing quality, but I like the kind of tech and stuff that they've got in there, so it's got that sort of balance. And the pricing, I give that a 4. It's just priced too high. I think they need to be pricing around sort of the £120 mark. But regardless of that, I just really like this sneaker, and it's one of those ones, I wouldn't call it a grail sneaker, but it's one that I want in my collection. And just being, like I said, a kind of 90s trainer fan, it's one of those sort of must-haves I didn't get as a kid and can now own as an adult.